when someone dies as the result of medical negligence. A wrongful death case arises. In a wrongful death lawsuit, the emphasis is not on the death itself, but on the effect of the death on those who are left behind. So the damages that are recoverable in a wrongful death lawsuit typically are things like the family member's loss of the person's guidance or counsel or financial support, and of course all of the mental anguish that the loved ones who were left behind suffer as a result of someone's death. Who can bring a wrongful death case? That can be complicated. The answer is it's the duly appointed representative of the estate. That's a mouthful, I know. The idea is this: when someone dies as a result of medical negligence, an estate has to be set up in the probate court. That's the local probate court where the person lived, who is now deceased. Typically, if a will is left behind, a specific individual is designated as the administrator or executor of the estate. When that happens, simple probate court paperwork can be filed, and that person will be named the executor. That person can then file the lawsuit. In a case where someone dies without a will, a family member typically will have to apply to the probate court to be appointed the administrator of the estate. And then that person is authorized to bring a wrongful death lawsuit. Let me give you an example of a wrongful death case. Let's say a 40-year-old man comes into the emergency room of a local hospital complaining of significant chest pain. An EKG is done to check to see whether the patient might be having a heart attack. Unfortunately, the EKG is misread by the physician in the emergency department. The patient is sent home. On the way home, the patient has a massive heart attack and dies. That would be an example of a potential wrongful death case that could be brought. There isn't really any conscious pain and suffering that the patient had prior to death, or if there's any, it's fairly minimal. The real injuries then are to the loved ones. So this would be a prime example of a wrongful death lawsuit.